Phaedra, my kid's crying, but you don't know what the you're talking about. Man, Johnson, let's go. Dunk on someone. Oh!
Frank. Second free throw for Brooks. It's off! It's off!
Passes the business. Biombo!
Mikhail has it! Oh, come on, baby. 4 seconds.
I didn't even know SSBBW existed.
Oh, shit!
You said both cheeks were gonna be spread.
I beat the shit out of Aaron Carter.
Cam Johnson, deep three! Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go!
Looking for somebody.
Oh, what the fuck?
What
just happened? What just happened?
What is going on, everybody? Suns Valley Podcast in the house. I hope the audio is working. It looks like it's working. How you doing, Salt?
Good. Excited
Sounding
to talk
good?
about. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Can you see the screen?
On YouTube or?
Yeah, on YouTube. On YouTube, you can see me, right?
Yeah, I can see you.
Now listen, I forgot that I'm just wearing an Adidas shirt. I don't got anything Suns, but oh no, what is this behind me? Now what is this? Wouldn't it be so funny if it wasn't what I thought it was?
It's like a random item from Amazon.
Well, it's just like something for my wife.
Oh shit, it's toothbrushes and toothpaste.
Now, when the Suns were in their prime, and we still thought we were going to be in the Western Conference Finals, I thought, I want to get me some swag. I want to get me some of that Phoenix Suns swag. And they're like, well, it's going to take a while. And I'm like, I don't care. I got all the time in the world. We're going to be in the finals. It'll be perfect. I'll get it when we get to the finals. But here we have. I'm still happy to get it, but this has been sitting in my living room. This has been sitting. Yeah, really. This has been sitting in my living room for a while, dog, and I just have not opened it because I just have been so bummed. But here we have it. Oh!
It's Bridges. Okay.
Oh! Who'd you think it was gonna be?
I was like, did that say Ayton on the back of that?
L to the no, my guy. You know what? I might have to go ahead and throw that on right now. Listen, the PayPal symbol is real. This is a real
accurate size. It's
accurate jersey,
100%.
a real.
So, I have a story about a jersey that I bought that I regretted. So, Beanie Wells, you remember him from back in the day?
I remember when you bought the Beanie Wells jersey.
So I got the Beanie Wells, and I should have got a Fitz, but you're pretty safe with that.
I went with the safest one. I literally got this the night that he had that crazy performance versus the freaking Pelicans, dude. When he went crazy. Roy, I ordered this from the Phoenix team shop online, so that's why it took me so long. That's why I couldn't get a Valley one, but I don't have a purple Suns jersey, so I decided to go with purple, man. I'm honestly pretty happy with it.
I honestly, I'm done with the Valley jerseys. I understand they're dope as fuck, but they just have a weird stank on them, you know? So that jersey right there is clean.
Thanks, man. I'm probably not gonna wear it anywhere though. I'm just gonna hang it up on the wall. I'm gonna replace that Barkley jersey.
Where's your Oubre jersey? You still got that up?
See, that's that fake Chris Paul. I guess you can't see it. Let me see if I can tilt this without spilling my water and stuff. This Oubre, that's that. Oh, maybe I should replace that one. But a lot of people don't know that it's
the whole squad's up there.
A lot of people don't know that it's a Chris Paul jersey. If we don't tell them, we should be just fine. All right,
so just
man.
edit that out in post, all right?
Oh yeah, that'll definitely be cut. That'll be cut. So, Burner says, "Hey, come on, guys! I was choking on chicken." Oh, not choking on chicken, choking his chicken to hentai, and he barely got this noti. I am sorry, Burner. I am so sorry to interrupt you.
He's choking on chicken and then
while eating chicken.
type.
Thanks for being here. I know you're busy, Burner.
Choking on
So,
chicken.
where do we start, man? Where do we start? Evan Sidery. Did you see that tweet? That's the first thing I woke up to today was that tweet.
Well, it's been a while since I've been on. I mean, you guys did some streams. I think, what was it, Golden State?
Yeah, that's the last time you came on was when we streamed the Golden State and Mavs game. Why don't you go ahead and break down?
I don't think I was there. But
you came in
been
for
a
like
while.
5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, so the first thing I would ask before we dive into this is the sting gone away for you personally?
It's like a 20% sting. I got like 20% of the sting left. What about you?
I pretty much moved on, and I'm in acceptance. Okay, I mean,
I'm
I
there.
feel like the Mavs definitely were not on our level talent wise, but something happened behind the scenes. We kind of heard some of it, but it was like the Suns beat the Suns, and the Suns fans added to that by saying Suns in 4, and all this stuff added together. And just honestly, I don't like the way we went out, but it kind of saved us from getting our shit wrecked by the Warriors. Would that have been worse? I don't know. Like getting swept and dog walked by the Warriors. Just to say you got to the Western Conference Finals, does that make it better?
I don't know which way would have been better to go out. I hear what you're saying. There is a lot of me that agrees with you. And until you just said it, I fully agreed. But now that you mention it, isn't there a little bit more pride in getting beat by the Warriors? Like that version? Like, say we got there and then that version of the Warriors showed up, which is what I predicted. I think we all said it. We're like, dude, ain't no way the Warriors aren't going to play us like that. Like, they're not going to take us lightly. They'll be their best version of themselves.
For sure. Yep.
And so, say we ran into the best version of the Warriors, I might be able to sleep better at night knowing that the best version of the Warriors whooped my ass instead of Fat Boy Luka and his short friends.
See, there's a lot of people that told me I need to cheer for the Mavs to beat the Warriors before that that matchup happened, and I was asking people, well, why? What's your reasoning behind that? And they're like, well, if you lose to the Mavs and the Mavs beat the Warriors, then they were the better team in the Western Conference. And I was like, I don't play by that game. I don't go by that rationale. I know a lot of Suns fans were. So I went with the Warriors. There's a respect factor for the Warriors that I didn't have for them when they had the super team with KD, but now since they're returning back to just they're homegrown. Okay. It's not, besides the Wiggins trade, they drafted all their good players and they built that foundation and they built that culture there, and they had the consistency with their coach and their GM. And you can see that. And it's like, it's not a normal thing for them to go to, I don't know how many finals in a certain amount of years. I think Clay's
6 out of 8, I think.
Yeah, all 6 years Clay's been healthy, they've gone, which is insane. So they're just one of those great teams. And I was watching them play basketball against the Mavericks, and it's just like, you can't dog how they constructed this team. First of all, they're champions, and you see that, and that's one of the things that bothered me. When I started questioning the Suns team, because it was like the Suns team were cocky, they got to the finals, then they lost, and it's just like the Mavericks have one player that's good, and they shut his ass down. They did all kinds of defensive schemes. So I have more respect for Steve Kerr as a coach, and just their GM has got to be one of the best GMs in the league, because he drafted Poole, and then they don't even have Wiseman playing right now, dog. It's insane. They're going to be loaded for a while. I think Wiggins has one more year on
the whole
deal.
Wiseman thing doesn't help DA at all if you think about it, because you can point to the Warriors and say, look, man, they don't even have their wannabe Ayton. They've got this dude they're praying will be as good as Ayton. They don't even have him, and they whoop the Mavs' ass. Go on.
Yeah, it's just, we're going to get to it for sure. That's one of the biggest things in the offseason is just because at the time, me and you were going back and forth as we did with Ayton. It's like, where do you value him? Because he's such an up and down player. He's been like that his whole career. And what compounded the problem was the fact that Ayton got drafted over Doncic. And no matter what you think of Doncic, he's a generational player. Now, he could be a one-sided player. You could make that argument because he's not that good on defense. But what he was doing in the playoffs and being unstoppable and unguardable, you throw 2-3 players at him, you rotate all the shit that you did with him, and he still kills you like he did. The dude is a killer. He's one of those players in the playoffs like Duncan. When Duncan was on with the Spurs, no matter who the fuck you threw on him, he's gonna get his. And it's like Kobe. Kobe was another example of that. Put 3 players on Kobe. Kobe's going to drain that fadeaway for a game winner. It's just some of these players. So I respect him from that level and stuff. But I think a lot of us are holding on to that. Well, Ayton, we drafted him number 1. So it's like, man, we can't move in that direction. If we want to win a championship, we got to get to the dollars and cents. And that's numbers, because men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. And we're going to get into that. All that stuff, because it's important as Suns fans to see that. And I think that's the big thing, because I think relatively close after the season ended, me and you came to the conclusion that we need to keep Ayton. Is that correct?
Okay, yes, but not from the standpoint that somebody say like my boy Humble Rumble. Not from his standpoint. It's not from that
value.
This is a value. This is a money standpoint. Is why I'm there. I don't know why you're there.
Yeah, we came to the conclusion that, I mean, in general with sign-in trades, you just don't get return on your investment. We saw that with the Joe Johnson trade. You see that any kind of sign-in trades, you look at the history of sign-in trades, and for the most part, it doesn't work out for the other team. You just can't get one-to-one value, and especially with the Ayton trade, it's going to be difficult. So that's one of the reasoning. That's one of the reasons why we said, well, let's match the deal. It will only be a 4-year deal. It won't be a 5-year deal. You get less years, but there's some major problems with that. If you max Ayton, you're automatically $20 million over the cap, over the luxury tax, which that is multiplied when you're in that kind of range. And just to give you an idea, with cheap ass Sarver, the dude never goes in the luxury tax ever. The dude buys off-brand Dr. Pepper to save a penny.
Dr. Thunder. You know I've seen him drink it.
So that's the issue, because we got a shit owner, which, it is what it is. And James Jones has said that, if they need to pay the tax, they'll pay the tax. But and I believe that. I feel like if they really felt like the numbers added up and Ayton was this generational talent, and he was the difference between them going to get a championship in a couple of years or not, yeah, they would have pulled the trigger. And it's like very weird to see a number 1 pick have an opportunity to sign him to that max deal, just like Ice Tray and Doncic at the time, part of the draft class. Everybody else that had the opportunity, gave the max to their players, and it was a no-brainer. It's kind of like Booker getting his max. It's just, we're in a different time. The NBA right now, wouldn't you say the NBA right now, so I would say the marker for the NBA shifting is the Warriors coming to power.
Spraying threes and showing everyone
changed the dynamic.
Threes, yeah.
Would you say that?
100%. They went small successfully.
When's the last time that you can remember a dominant, game-changing center that won championships, or when the league was designed around a big man? When would you say that was? Because it's been a while.
It was like 93, right? Because 96, I believe, I want to say 96. Guys, bear with me here, all right? But 96, I think, was the Miami Heat, Shaq, Dwayne, Dwayne Wade, but we call that a Dwayne Wade championship, right? Because Shaq was still down. So really, I think you go back to 94 or 93 when the Lakers did it with Shaq. That was the last time. Now, once again, he was the key of that, but he also had Kobe Bryant. So how much further do you have to go back to find one where it was just a big?
I think that it's multifaceted. Okay, it's not just cut and dry who won the championship. It's the way the league was. Okay, so and that's based off of talent and focusing on centers like the Admiral, right? David Robinson.
He couldn't get it done until he had a 4, though. I just am saying that because Antonio's saying to him.
He can't. Hakeem Olajuwon won two championships, but the league was a lot different back then. It wasn't this no hand checking. You know what I'm saying? Like it was more physical. And
it was not about the 3-point line. It was not about the 3-point line. Yeah.
No.
You're making me think of something with DA.
All right, what's up?
Like, and I hate to get into analogies this early, but bear with me here. Did you ever date any girls and when it ended, they went on to be with somebody who you could kind of tell was maybe better for them, and like you saw it like from an outside perspective, like without the hatred and without the jealousy and without the resentment? Did you ever have a girl that you broke up with and it was like amicable and you didn't hate her after?
So you didn't have. So you're talking about with this scenario that you would never have hated your girl. You were just. It was just the right time. And you feel happy for her.
Like you realized, this actually won't work with me because of our fit. But then you see her go date someone else. You're like, hey, that's actually a very healthy fit. That's very good for her. Like I've only dated one girl that I didn't have jealousy and resentment after it was over. Okay. And when I saw her go and get married, I was like, yeah, I can see how that's a better situation than me at that time in my life. You needed, time. And yes, it hurt. Oh, it still hurt. But like, that's just what I feel like might have to happen with DA for him to be successful. Because with the Suns, I don't think... With Monty Williams and the Suns, I don't think he's ever going to reach his full potential. And I think that it's a disservice to keep him on the team. And I might be able to look at him someday and think, like, hey, look at him over there. He's doing good. I'm glad for him because we couldn't give him that. We couldn't give him that. So I'm glad he's getting that. He didn't do anything wrong to us. It's just we couldn't give him what he needed. And now he's happy and looking good, and I'm happy for him. Like Mitch Trubisky. I hope Mitch Trubisky plays well for somebody and gets to do something. I think that could be DA. He goes to a team who will actually feed him the way that Cat gets fed. Maybe that's how it's got to be, dog. Because we ain't getting rid of Booker, and Booker ain't feeding him.
So... I'm going to comment off of what you just said, but John Doe in the chat says D-Book isn't a Supermax player. He is, though. That's the most no-brainer thing based off of performance that you can do. Stats-wise, he improved in pretty much every area. And is it acceptable the way he played in the Game 7? But no, it's not. But to discount everything else D-Book has done for the Phoenix Suns, stick with us...
Sorry, I'm laughing at Burner. Sorry, go ahead.
It's a no-brainer for Book. Am I disappointed in him? Sure. But he is a Supermax player by the definition. He's the player that you can build around. Trust me. Now, we can have discussions about everything else, but that's the no-brainer there. The thing with DA and your analogies and all that other stuff, I think that Suns fans have known the writing was on the wall for a long time that we picked the wrong player, okay? And we've been trying to convince ourselves that he was the right player, and we almost got there last year with the finals run because DA played it very well, and we all went to the finals, and everybody was happy. But there were still some people out there. It's just like if you look at the consistency for Maine, Did he do that the whole season? Not really. He just had a good playoff run, and he's had issues with consistency his whole career, and I do blame that on the setting in which he finds himself. Monty Williams' system is not good for Ayton. You know, he's never going to be that guy that gets post, whatever, like a cat player or whatever. He's like the go-to man in the system. It just does not happen. So from that perspective, I still don't want Ayton to do good because it's admitting a colossal failure. The only number one pick you've had, I think, in the history, right? I mean, when's the last time we had a number one pick? But
never.
To not draft Doncic and to lose Ayton is just a colossal failure. And I understand James Jones did not make that pick. So we cannot blame that on James Jones. He is the GM, and he's made some definite questionable draft picks. Didn't get Halliburton, drafted Sticks, and he's not even on the team anymore. And we could talk about the Javon Carter shit and all that other stuff, but facts are facts. James Jones did not pick Ayton. And I don't know if James Jones would have picked Ayton because I think he has more foresight and knowledge or idea the way the league's going. Didn't we know the league was a guard league back when Ayton was drafted?
We knew.
Why? I mean, what? And you look at all the trends. I think you see this guy coming out of U of A, and we all fell for it or whatever. It's just, if you're a stats man, look at the stats. When's the last time a big man was critical in deciding whether or not a champion was crowned in the NBA? It's been fucking years. So why did we draft a center, dog? And you look at the most talented centers in the league, they ain't doing shit either. Joker got 2 MVPs. Who gives a shit? He ain't sniffed the finals, dude. Okay?
Right.
Cat's been a fucking bottom dweller for his whole career, and he choked in the playoffs. Embiid, very talented. Now,
he's the closest to doing it for real.
He's the closest because he's, in my opinion, like so good.
Yeah.
And he's like the closest to Shaq we've had in a while, just from a physical standpoint. And
but do you think Shaq by himself? Do you think Shaq, say he was on the Magic, today's NBA, do you think he could carry his team to a title? It'd probably be like another,
I think,
kind of like Dwight Howard. You think he could?
Prime Shaq could win a championship by himself in this NBA, because literally you would design an offense around him and nobody could stop him.
I don't want to get you bogged down on Shaq talk, but I get it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just, it comes down to there's centers better than Ayton, and they haven't got to the promised land. They haven't even got to the finals, dog. Okay? So the true centers that are, quote unquote, the best, they haven't even sniffed the finals. So that's the real thing. And then you're saying, well, McDonough, you fucked up again.
So you want him, I'm guessing here, I'm piecing together, do you want him to fail where he goes next to mitigate the pain that you'll feel? Yes. Or embarrassment you'll feel?
Yes.
See, like, I see us as fans as like kind of an extension of the organization. Like, we're kind of part of it, certainly financially a big part of it. And of course we didn't make any of these decisions, but I feel like as an organization, we failed him just as much as he failed us. Yep. So that's why I can allow him to go off and be successful, because I know it's on us that we didn't feed him and didn't cultivate his career the way we could have. So like, if it was all his fault, then I wouldn't want him to go be successful somewhere else. But there's a part of me that feels guilty that the Suns gave him nothing to work with, that the Suns kind of hamstringed him, just like you saw us hamstring Sticks. Like, Sticks was like a mini microcosm version of like DA's situation. Like,
so it's real weird once you bring up the Sticks situation, because what was James Jones thinking?
Dude, from the beginning,
you know?
It's just like taking Luka over DA, Halliburton over Sticks.
It's like a need thing, right?
So that's what I'm saying. I don't know that James Jones would have picked Luka over DA because I've seen him make the wrong decision and pick a big. So I don't know. I'm not saying he wouldn't. I just don't know.
It's weird because he did hit on the Cam Johnson thing. So
Yes.
that was, everybody shit on that pick, which, you know, he was reaching. His draft strategy has been, let me outsmart all the experts. It's like, I could draft Halliburton, but let's get this Sticks guy from Maryland that's slated to go way later, you know? Let's get Cam Johnson at whatever pick it was when he's supposed to go second round. I heard he was supposed to go late, you know, but he panned out. But as far as Ayton goes, he got hit for that steroids or the performance enhancing drugs. What was that? 1920, his second year?
That was bubble year, I thought. Maybe the year before the bubble. Maybe it was the year before the bubble.
It could have been the bubble because he might have cost us the chance. I don't know. Regardless of that, I think it was the bubble year because
I think we're both big fans of him taking steroids, for the record.
I need to know the year because he averaged 16 points in his first year, right? And you remember that Ayton where he's like posts, some middies, pretty much like mid-range was his game,
18 and 11 as a sophomore with Ricky Rubio.
That was his highest scoring year.
Yes,
with Rubes.
But I feel like a little, yes, but like, why? I can't figure out why. And I know that we used to think it was because Ricky can't shoot that well as CP3 can. So Ricky was more likely to give it up to DA. And that could very well be it. But doesn't Chris Paul make everyone better except for DA?
Maybe it was the talent thing because we were losing a lot of basketball games that year. So there wasn't other options to go to.
True.
You know?
That's true. Just overall less spread around.
So normally you'd see with like a number one pick, you'd see the trajectory go up.
But I feel like he took a back seat to CP3. He was like, oh, we got CP3? That's cool. I can score a little less. You guys run it, and I'll batten down the hatches here in the paint, and I'll get all the paint points. You guys get all of that. Like, I feel like he deferred to CP3. And how could you not? It's CP3 coming in. Being washed.
Look at his stats from 2021. 14 points a game.
Yeah, that was But then he had a great playoff series.
Yeah, but then the excuse was, well, he's focusing on his defense and his rebounding, which he did. You could see an improvement there. But then you have this effort thing because DA has this, he doesn't have the killer mentality. You know, he's off and on again. Like the dude, I don't know. So 14 points, it's just like to drop from 18 to 14 in your third year. Your third year should be when you're fucking hitting your stride, right? And he dropped significantly. So that should have been signs in itself because we got the point guard in the house. And before we got CP3, or when that news broke out, everybody's like, well, shit, Ayton's going to eat. Because CP3 feeds.
We really did think. We really thought he was going to be like a 20-point plus scorer per game. We thought it was 20 in Tensville, didn't we?
Dude, I mean, how could it not be? Because he's taking people like Deandre Jordan to the promised land. That dude can't score for himself.
If you can do it with a Deandre Jordan, you should be able to do it with a Deandre Ayton. Now, really quickly on that topic, I was talking with Romp about it for a while earlier in the week, and I am just so convinced that DA... Actually, I was talking to his Sundo about it while I was at the gym shooting around. And me and Sundo came to the conclusion he's just not a pick-and-roll player. He's a... give it to me in the post and let me do fadeaways player.
So, do you remember that picture Sundo sent us, percentage of field goals assisted this season?
Yes.
That stands out a lot, because what that means is, so Ayton's number one on this list for all the listeners, okay? So 81% of Ayton's field goals came off assists. That means he's not creating for himself, not doing back downs or any of that shit. The dude is essentially, it's either we're going to throw him a lob pass, or it's stuff like that. It's like he's getting assisted on pretty much all of his hoops. Gobert, who doesn't have an offensive play in his body, had 72%. Jokic is at 62, Towns 62, Adebayo 61, Embiid 54%. And then Giannis is 43. So they're actually, creating some shit, not, hey, if you dump me down a fucking dime that's wide open or it's an easy thing, I'm going to make it, and that's the problem, because what the Suns ran into in the playoffs is self-creation from a player standpoint. When CP3 was getting his ass shut down in lockdownville and getting pressed the whole way, and if he was injured, which they said he was or whatever, you typically have other players that can create their shots or get their own. And on the Suns, man, CP3 got his shit shut down, and it's like no one else was that guy. It's like on the Warriors, if Steph's having an off night, Poole can go off.
Right. Poole can do a good imitation.
Clay can go off.
Well, who used to do a good CP3 imitation is Campaign, which we don't have to spend much time on, but he also, it was a perfect storm of shit. Like, everything that could have went wrong as far as players. Not only do we not have any CP3, we didn't even have any CP15. He was gone too. We should have known it was over when we ran Point Shamet, dog. When Shamet had to come in.
We should have known it was over when CP3 did not bring the ball up, and he was a 2 guard from, what I'm saying? Like, how they were initiating the offense. That was the writing on. But regardless of that, CP3 was this double-edged sword, because he brought us to the promised land and we didn't win. He took us from the bubble Suns to actual contention, but in effect, he's the show, and it's like your whole offense runs through him. So if he is your offense, it's like a Ferrari with a flat tire. How fast can you go on a flat tire if you have a Ferrari? It's not going to work. So our offense was 100% around CP3. Book got shut down, and Deandre Ayton was proven in the system and the player that he's not a guy like Embiid that you can go to in the clutch when you need.
Let's get real technical. Can we get real technical? Yeah. He doesn't back anyone down. Let me break this down for you. Think about Luka and the way he bodied
everybody,
body spin, and people were bouncing backwards into the paint, and he was able to get easy little lay-ins and get fouled and shit. Ayton nearly never bumps anyone more than once. He bumps you. If you meet it with resistance, he goes, oh, well, let me fade away. And he's not bad at fading away. That's not the fucking point. It's the fact that he never, you said Embiid. So, what's the first thing that comes to my mind? Well, Embiid pushes people towards the rim before he shoots. Ayton wouldn't even push little Jalen Brunson. Wouldn't even push Brunson. Wouldn't push Ntilikina. Wouldn't push anyone. Bullock. Nobody. That's specifically why Ayton just doesn't work. That's why he doesn't make small ball pay. You want to give a guy a max who can't. Okay, let's max a guy, and then the other team just has to go small ball, and then we have to take Ayton off the court and put Busy B on. Is that what you want?
Is that what you came for? You're not entertained? you don't want busy playing minutes when you're max.
When you just
player
maxed
should be
Ayton, but
playing.
you have to take Ayton out. You have to.
That's what this league's come to,
Because
man.
he won't back anyone down. Because he's a quote-unquote rhythm scorer. He likes to score in rhythm. AKA, I'm soft. Can I go real quick on the Ayton not sleeping thing?
Yes. So
I've
the
been
gamer-
meaning to go on this.
Gamer, so you're gonna dog on a gamer like yourself, huh? Go ahead.
Here's
go
the
ahead.
thing.
You got. Let's get some background on it first.
This was the conversation that I had with Romp. Okay. Romp tells me that there's a story out about how Ayton only gets sometimes 2 hours of sleep. And he's saying, yeah, I won't go to bed. I won't go to bed till we get a win. So sometimes I'm up.
Okay,
I only
I
get 2
didn't
hours
know
of
that
sleep.
part. For some reason, I didn't know that.
Me neither.
For background, for all the chat to know, Ayton plays 2K, and he grinds that shit.
He plays it 5 hours a day, which, bro, I don't have a problem with you playing 5 hours a day. Think about it. You got 5 hours for sleep. Sorry, 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for work, 8 hours for play. That's 24 hours. 8 for sleep, 8 for work, 8 for play. If he's only playing 5 hours, I'm okay with it. But if it's interrupting your sleep, okay. So the night before Romp told me that, I was watching a TED Talk while playing Ark. Okay? The TED Talk was on sleep. The first thing he says is, he goes, the first thing I'm going to talk about when it comes to sleep is testicles. Everybody starts like giggling, right?
What, it kills your tests?
He goes, men who sleep less than 7 hours per night have drastically smaller testicles.
Oh my God.
He says, men who get less than 7 hours of sleep have testosterone levels of someone 10 years their senior.
Just sleep.
Just from lack of sleep, you will have testosterone. Did I not call him Deandre Estrogen? Okay? You will have less test if you don't get 7 hours of sleep. Who's the most untestosterone having ass center in the NBA? We figured it out, dog. You can play all the 2K you want, Ayton. That's fine. Just get 7 hours of sleep. That's all I'm asking you. And I bet you it would turn him around, bro. We all know he's low test.
So you just opened up a box, right? I thought I had because I don't know if I didn't read it enough or I just read the headline or whatever. Because I'm a big gamer, right? But with anything, you got to have it can't be to a level where it disrupts your other life, right? Or your actual life. And he's a professional that's getting paid millions of dollars. No one cares how much video games you play. If you have an off day, go ham, play 12 hours. But if it's interrupting your sleep to that level where he admits that he's going locked with 2 hours of sleep, that cannot be good. From you just explained it, and I don't know if that came from Dr. Joe Rogan or whoever it was.
It was a TED Talk. He seemed like a liberal, so I'm gonna take his word on it. Okay,
but I kind of if you talk to CP3 or any athlete, they'll tell you one of the most important things is sleep, your diet and sleep. So if he's admitting that he has sleep problems, and I get it, he's dealing with depression as well and anxiety, but it's not, you can't unload that and not take responsibility. You need to get treatment, or you need to get help to sleep at night, especially if you're a pro athlete, because it's required. So yeah, that all adds up, and it all adds up to him just not having that drive to be a killer. He doesn't have the killer mentality.
Testosterone.
Exactly. Because when you have more testosterone, what is it? I mean, explain it to people. I mean,
let me explain it to you, because I take
it's
testosterone.
Like a caveman. It's like a caveman. You want to win. You're competitive as fuck.
Your anxiety, one of the biggest things that testosterone does is it lowers your anxiety. It makes you less stressed, which is a nice thing. But when I was like 20 years old, I got on some testosterone stuff that was like way stronger than I'm taking now, and I didn't need it because I was young. But I was like, "Eff it, it'll be fun. Let's see how this is." I have a buddy, Martine, who's bigger than me and who has knocked me unconscious one time. That's the guy I was telling you about when we boxed. He put me to sleep. He told me one time, he goes, "I don't like you on this testosterone. You're too aggressive." That's testosterone, okay? Like, I wouldn't take shit from anyone. If somebody said some shit to me that I didn't like, I would have to talk to them about it right then and there. Like, it makes you, you know?
It's like the Animal Kingdom caveman scenario, you know?
Yes.
Like we all get it. I mean, people make jokes about it or whatever, but I mean, being that big and that physical with that body, I mean, I said this a million times. If I had Deandre Ayton's physique and his height, I would be fucking murdering everybody. I would be dunking on people and ripping the rim down just because I can, and especially with the size differential since the NBA went to small ball, you should be the cream of the crop. Dog.
Why doesn't he hurt people? Why doesn't he hurt? Okay, when you actually play basketball and you're guarding someone in the post that's bigger than you, how does it feel when they really exert their power and push their weight on you? Doesn't feel good. Why doesn't he do that to people? Why doesn't he clang into people and hurt them legally within the rules of basketball? Punish them. Why? Because it ain't in him. It's not how he's built.
It's the testosterone thing. It's the drive. It's the killer mentality. It's because I could list off a bunch of people that have that killer mentality. One of them's Ja Morant. Dude's a killer. Dude wants to fucking shit on you, basically, you know, in less words.
Now let me go in the opposite direction with this. And try to build a small case here for him and the way that he wants to play. Would you be upset with him if he plays the way he wants and he reaches his ceiling, and his ceiling is a more athletic LaMarcus Aldridge? Because if you remember correctly, LaMarcus Aldridge did two things: mid-range jumpers and turnaround fadeaways that always hit. See, because I could see DA being that guy, or who you compare him to, or Gary compares him to, Hakeem Olajuwon. Turnaround fadeaways, dream shakes, turnarounds, shit like that, up and unders. Gary did for sure. He doesn't say he's as good, but he says that the way he wants to play is like him, not physical like Shaq.
So the thing is he alpha? We know in my opinion, he could go to a shitty team and be that number one guy, but he ain't gonna win like that. Like, if you have DeAndre Ayton as your number one, you ain't shit. Okay, I'm sorry.
He can't be your number one.
I mean, he wants to get paid like one, right? He wants to get that max. What is the definition of max, or have we changed it? Why would you give a max player to someone that is not a number one type
He's
player?
not a max in our system, but in someone else's system, he might be.
He's a max in a system for a team that's on the fringe. It's like the Bubble Suns or any of those teams trying to get to the next level.
It's like, bro, when you don't have a car, it's like, and somebody offers to just give you their car, it's like kind of a shitty car. You don't give a fuck. Like, yeah, bro, we don't have nothing.
John Doe in the chat says Rashawn Holmes. The things I would do to get him on this squad, because he'd actually fit with CP3
I miss
on the
Rashawn
pick and roll,
Holmes so much, man. Yeah,
it's crazy. But the thing is like, you're looking at, it's like, who's the center of the Celtics? They just made the title. Al Horford, who's like 40?
And it's supposed to be Robert Williams, who's undersized compared to DA, but plays the way that we try to get DA to play, and that's his actual game. So yeah, he'd be way better than DA for us because of the way we could use him. DA just we're forcing a square peg into a round hole. You know, we're like, go out there and play like Rudy Gobert. Only play like Rudy Gobert. He's like, well, I want to play like LaMarcus Aldridge. No, do pick and rolls. Well, my hands are made out of bricks and they're slippery and they're small. Go do pick and rolls. That's all you're doing. You know.
Where are we at? Because are we in the conclusion that we need to move on from Ayton?
From DA? Still the best thing for us to do, in my opinion, the right thing, the best thing to do for our franchise is to let someone max him. If someone maxes him, so say the Hornets, go ahead and max him. We have to match it and then bring him back and try to make it work with Monty. If anybody can make it work, it's Monty, right? He's the most lovable coach ever. So let him get to loving.
So you're on.
And then if it don't work, trade him at the deadline. At the trade deadline.
So that's Gabe's analysis on what they should do.
Because if we hold on to him, it's like this. If I want to do a trade with you and I'm like, hey, I'll give you $1. Sorry, give me $1, Salty, and I'll give you 50 cents. Or if you wait until after midnight, then I'll give you a full $1. But I can't until midnight. I'm sorry, I can't give you $1. But wait till midnight. I'll give you your $1.
How are you sure that this magical scenario, once you sign him, what if he digresses some more? What if the situation
What if he
gets
hurts
worse?
his trade his trade value?
It's
what
a
if he
weird
hurts his stock?
situation with that. I think he could hurt his stock more. And then the other thing is, it's part of the reason why you wouldn't want to invest that much money into him is because you want to do other things. So if not signing Ayton to that 5-year, whatever it was, $170 million when they had a chance, but that gives you the opportunity to sign a Cam Johnson, or when CP3 leaves, to be able to actually get a star in here that would be able to get paid. But if you signed Ayton and you're over luxury tax, maybe you lose a Cam Johnson. Maybe you don't have the money to pay a disgruntled star when the time comes, or to make the moves that you want to make, because all your money's locked up into a center that's not giving you much of anything. And then we've already proved it's not a center's league, you know? So if there's rumors of signing trades out there, and I understand that we've already talked about that you don't get return on it.
Yeah.
But if there's a team out there that legit would give a great package out, and I know there's some stupid rumors out there, but give you something that this is ridiculous, and this would never happen, okay? But there's the rumor that the Hornets could offer Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, and 3 first-rounders to the Suns for DA. And this isn't going to happen. But if there's a team out there that came out and just blew you away with just the opportunity to get something that would make your team better to try to get to the promised land, plus moving on to into the future, you'd have a lot more financial flexibility.
That would be
ideal.
That would be great, but I predict that can't happen the way we want it to. I mean, the draft picks now, if they go with that many draft picks, 3 firsts, then that has value that isn't tied to money, that then that helps us out as far as having to make a deal, because legally they can only give us $15 million back. DA is going to probably sign for $30.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
We give them that $30 million. They can only give us 15 back. So we would have to be a haul of picks to make us a sign and trade worth it. But that's a very interesting thing that I ain't against. If it was something like that, of course. And so the real question now, I think, is about what you said before that, which is, what if he hurts his trade value between now and the trade deadline? Because I think from the way you described it and the way I described it, my new impression is we need to pay him the max if he gets maxed and absolutely trade his fucking ass on the deadline. Gone. Because you're right. Do we want to hold on to a testicleless center in a non-center league with a max deal and not be able to pay other people? I don't know. But if somebody else wants to.
Dude, if you think the hate for Deandre Ayton's strong right now, imagine this dude getting whatever, what is it, 30 million a year, whatever ridiculous number it is. Imagine him having nights where he scores like 9 points and grabs like 5 rebounds, and then you're going to his contract. You're like, what did we do? It's like the Michael Porter Jr. situation with the Nuggets. It's like they maxed his ass, and whereas he has a bad back and didn't even, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
this thing would go up to crazy levels if we did that. So I don't know, man.
But isn't that the right cutthroat thing to do? Where did I hear what?
Where'd you hear that 15 million return on sign and trade? What was that about? Where'd you hear that?
So I've been learning the CBA in that Blazers offseason mock offseason. So in order, so like I've been preparing myself I'm going to have to deal with things because our free agency is about to start pretty soon. And someone in this mock off season is probably going to offer him a max. So I needed to know. So I looked up the CBA rules, and there's something called a BYC something player compensation. It's like a stipulation in the CBA that says if you trade somebody, you can only get back this much. And because he qualifies for it, because we've had him for more than 3 years, he qualifies for every single part of this BYC or whatever the hell it's called. He's every part of it. Base year compensation, is that what he's saying? So yeah. Because he qualifies for that, we can only take back 50 cents on the dollar. So we could do a Siakam trade. I know. And I was like, so it feels like they're trying to help the team not get screwed.
What you're not taking into account, so that's just the player. But what about throwing in other players to make the deal work?
That you can do.
Salary-wise.
That you can do.
So that's another thing that people aren't even considering, because it's like, if you're a team and you really want Deandre Ayton, okay, we can only get 50 cents on the dollar back for a sign and trade, but you're going to take this player back that we don't like. You're going to take on this bad contract that we can offload and get other players.
Just for money's sake.
For money's sake.
So I did that Siakam trade. I worked on that Siakam trade for a while. And to get Siakam, you would have to do DA, Crowder, and Payne, or Crowder and Saric, or Payne and Saric. 2 of those 3. Payne, Crowder, Saric. 2 of those 3 plus DA. Gotta go.
Contract to get Payne off would be awesome. There's ways to make it work.
There is.
Are you?
But here's the thing. That makes the other team who's trying to max DA, they're like, oh, god damn, we got to take on these other contracts too. They might not have room. So it just makes it more difficult.
But if they're a shitty team and that's trying to get over the hump, more than likely they're going to have cap space, you know, or there's different ways to get around
be willing
stuff.
To create it.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, we're going to have to draft players to keep this thing going. It's like, I don't understand the thought process. I get it. But one of the things that screwed over the run and gun Phoenix Suns is D'Antoni's refusal to develop players that would get drafted. And guess what the management did? They sold their picks off for nothing, just cash considerations. And then you do that long enough and you're not resupplying the container per se, then your shit's going to run dry. And then it's like this run that you're having of success, it needs to be predicated on continuing to restock. So like the Warriors, They had a couple years where they were hurt and stuff, and guess what they did? They restocked. They got Poole. They got this and that. So it's like when they're older players,
Wiggins.
get older. Made
They
that trade.
They turned D'Lo into Wiggins.
D'Lo to Wiggins, boom. And I thought that was bad at the time, but it's smart for them to do that. He's another option. It's like with the Suns, where one of their Achilles heels right now is their inability to restock the container, because it's just like in the NFL. To be able to sustain success, you have to have these low contract rookies. So like Kyler Murray, for example, or anybody, when they're on the rookie scale, that's when you can stock up on other talent to surround them with. But when they get paid, and then you don't have that option. So it's like the Halliburtons of the world. Wouldn't that have been nice to have that backup that was Halliburton that's on a rookie deal?
Wouldn't have even been no backup. We'd have been able to walk away from CP3 right here and now if we wanted to. He's that good. He's that good.
So
bro.
that thought process of, hey, we're too good, we're not going to develop anybody, we're just not going to draft, we're going to sell our picks off, we're going to trade our first round pick for Shamit. It's just, I think that eventually is going to catch up to the Suns. So if they did a sign and trade and they actually got return with a couple picks that were decent, then you could restock and retool. So that's another way that you can sustain your success. It's like looking for success outside of CP3.
Remember this other thing that is probably the biggest problem with it, which is we can sit here and dream up scenarios all day.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, DA has to say, yes, I want to go there. He can single-handedly say no to these things all by himself. So if he doesn't want to live in Detroit, he doesn't have to. If he doesn't want to live in Toronto because he's from the Bahamas and prefers the warm weather, he doesn't have to. If he doesn't like Brooklyn and the politics around COVID as far as having to wear masks all the time, like if there's something he don't like about Brooklyn, if he doesn't like hipsters, he can say no.
That's the deal breaker for him.
Okay?
This is what I'm going to tell you. I think Ayton wants to get paid. He wants to have security. I think if it came to the, one of these teams come up, could he nix the trade? Yeah. But I think it's a Joe Johnson situation because Atlanta sucked at the time when he got traded there. But what was the most important for JJ? Was to be the man. And he was not the man here in Phoenix. He was like the fourth wheel. Steve Nash, Amari, he was the fourth guy and he wanted to shine. So was Atlanta the best location for JJ? No, but he's getting paid max money and he developed into that player. Now, Ayton's a completely different situation. And yeah, you'd have to cross that bridge at the time. But I think he's just going to take security as a max player and just go with that. I don't think he's going to be like, well, it's Detroit, so I'm not going to go there. It's like, well, it's Detroit. I'm getting max money and I'm going to be the man. Right?
But it is Detroit.
It is Detroit. But
that's like saying, do you want to go play for the Lions, bro? Does anyone want to go play for the Lions if they don't have to?
I'm sure there's some nice places you can get in Michigan, right? As a rich person to be able to make that work. But yeah, I mean, it's not an ideal situation.
True.
But there's other places like the Hornets or Toronto or any of these other rumored places, the Spurs or anything like that. It would just have to come up, and then I just think he wants to get paid. But if you're the Suns, you still hold control, okay? Ultimate control, because you could say if the trade offers that are out there that for the teams that want to sign Ayton aren't to your liking, you don't do it. Have someone put a max sheet offer for Ayton. You max it and you get him for less years. So last year you had to pay him 5 for 5 years. If someone offers him a max, it's only 4 years. You sign him, you pay the tax, exactly what you said, and then trade deadline, you fucking offload.
Ship his ass out to the highest bidder.
And it's just like he doesn't have a say. That's another thing that, because you say Ayton has all the power. It's like,
I'm
well,
not saying all the power. I'm just saying here's the order of operations is he is going to get contacted by another team first. The first thing that happens is the teams come to him. He agrees, yeah, I do want to come play with you. Then they have to run it up the flagpole to us, and we decide, are you a team that we want to deal with? No. Matched. Get your ass back here. Are you a team we do want to deal with? Let's talk.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he doesn't have all the power, but he's not powerless.
Well, the Suns maxed any contract offer that comes out there. He's going to sign the deal. And then what happens? He loses control over where he goes. If the Suns max him, like match the offer, you're signed. I mean, and if they feel like trading you to Detroit, you're not going to have the say over that. Because like in the NBA, to my knowledge, they don't have like no trade clauses like Major League Baseball or some shit, right? I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't remember hearing something like that.
There's no trade clauses in the NBA?
Are there?
I'm pretty sure there are. I'm pretty sure there are. Yeah.
So if they match his deal, I don't think he could just throw in there, hey, I have a no trade clause to so and so team. I don't know. I don't think.
Well, it's not a trade. That's the thing. He's a free agent. So we can. He's a restricted free agent. So we can trade. We can sign and trade.
No. So what I'm saying is, someone offers him an offer sheet. We match it. So he's our player. Okay, we sign him. We match it. I'm saying the next season at the trade deadline, he doesn't have a say where he's getting traded.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
Okay.
Yee. You like that? And we get all our money for him. We get everything. We get all the chips on the table, not half. And we already fucked it up once with Sticks. We can't do it again. We got to do everything right, even though it makes us look like assholes. Because we got to do what's best for us.
The weirdest thing out of all this is that Sticks would have been perfect in this scenario if James Jones didn't fucking annihilate.
He ain't all he's cracked up to be, my guy. I mean, he's really good, but he ain't perfect. So just like Monty.
So if you would have had Sticks signed up, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we didn't have to trade him for bum ass Torrey Craig. He would have been in the wings, and you could have been like, well, fuck, I mean, it makes the decision even easier because you got this dude Sticks.
Bro.
In the wings, bro. Like
earlier in the podcast in the chat, Burner was like, I know James Jones should trade Torrey Craig for Sticks and then trade Torrey Craig for Sticks and then go get Sticks back for Craig. Profit? He goes, then we profit? Like, it's just silly, dude. But yeah, it should have been Sticks, man.
And plus, Dario's coming back. He fits the mold better. I mean, in today's NBA, Dario fits better at the center position than Deandre.
He's gonna be an X factor if he comes back and is like close to what he was or what he was. That could be very interesting for the Suns. That could be a big plus for us.
You need a smaller physical type center, you know, like 6'9", 6'10", very physical, wants to grab boards, wants to do the dirty work, can guard multiple positions, can guard out on the wing. He doesn't necessarily need to be a scorer for sure. I mean, he could just play that role in today's NBA. Because you have, how tall is Williams on Celtics? Like,
I think like 6'9", off the top of my head.
Bam Adebayo, how tall is he?
6'9".
So that's 6'9" range. It's, I don't know, they don't grow on trees, but you can try to go out and get something like that. I don't know what fits that bill, but someone that definitely ain't getting paid $30 million a year to handicap you for the rest of 4 years.
You know, if this podcast has convinced me of anything, it's that you and me should be the next GMs of the Phoenix Suns.
Facts.
All right, because I'm liking
James
where we're
Jones.
going with all of this.
James Jones' days are limited. He got us doing ESPN trade machines. I mean, he's sweating at night. I don't even know the CBA. He's sweating it. But yeah, I mean, we need a shot creator. If you're building a player in 2K, that's what we need. We need a third option that you can go to create shots and get foul attempts.
Yes. And let's get technical again with it, because I was having this conversation all damn night with Tori about why I signed Jordan Clarkson. I'm like, bottom line, bro, I need someone on my team that when there isn't a shot available has the ability to go create one out of thin air. Because we don't have anyone but Chris Paul that can do that. And Booker, right? But both of them will be injured at some point. Like, I'm throwing Booker into that sort of expectations.
That's another sign that we should have looked at and knew that we had a major flaw in the Suns, is the ability to get free throws. Consistently, we're never shooting free throws as much as the other teams. We're always complaining about the refs, but it's like at a certain point, the numbers show you that things are actually a trend, and we don't have players to get to the rack and get fouls. You know, Booker does that. CP3 does that, but not to the clip that you need. You need a dude that can create a shot and get fouls and put the other team in foul trouble, put pressure on the defense. We don't have that. Campaign is garbage. It's like, who else? Cam Johnson, garbage at getting to the rack and getting fouls and creating his own shot.
Now, to be fair, me picking Clarkson won't hypothetically fix the getting to the line thing. We looked at it and he don't get to the line. But I want to comment on Christopher Stewart, Principe, and Burner talking about a hypothetical that they heard about KD for DA and McHale. Now, first thing that brings to mind is I could see Brooklyn actually doing that. Since KD has not talked to them, and he might, if he really wants out, I could see that being enough. Maybe some picks or whatever. Mm-hmm. I would close my eyes and push trade.
I would too. I love it.
I'm wearing a Mikal Bridges jersey.
Nah, you know what KD does. You know what KD does.
We're talking CP3, Book, and KD.
A true
slurp me sideways. Okay.
KD would take off the pressure from Chris Paul at any time.
I'm getting hot just thinking about it.
All right. It's just, in that situation, of course, it's a generational player. You do what it takes to get it done, and that it's like you would have to make the hard decision to do that. But ultimately, if you want to do what you never have done with the Suns, which actually win a championship, you got to take risks, and that'd be a huge risk, you know. But
Christopher said Espo said he'd drive those guys to the airport. I was watching that stream. I didn't hear that part though. But yeah, Espo can drive, and I'll give them all roadhead on the way from the airport to their new hotels, you know?
One of the things that James Jones failed to do was stack up at the trade deadline. He should have went for Eric Gordon, and the year before that, he got McGee a year late, dog. It's like reactionary decisions, which is another thing that it does not work out for you for a team, because we got beat by the Bucks. So what did we do? We made moves to try to overcome what we failed to do in that year. But guess what? The Bucks got knocked out of the playoffs, and they're on the other side of the fucking bracket. So we made our adjustments based off of a team that didn't even get to the finals.
We were so certain. We were so tunnel vision.
Reactionary, dog.
Yeah.
It's reactionary. And the Suns, like the run and gun Suns, did that shit too. It's like you cannot. I mean, the run and gun Suns. The reaction to a dynasty team like the Spurs, that makes sense, because that's going to be a roadblock in your way to get to the actual finals. But it's like, if you're preparing for an Eastern team, it's like you got to do so many things to get to the finals. It's like your eyes isn't on the prize, and I just like all these things add up. The GM reactionary to building the team and making the adjustments to go to the Bucks that never even made the finals, overlooking opponents, why you lost to the Mavs, being too cocky, all this stuff.
Bro, how crazy would it be to actually be James Jones right now and to actually get to make these decisions?
This is I mean, we love James Jones right now, but this is like the make and break shit for him, because it's like he's going to either have a moment where he turns the tides and gets us to the promised land, or he's going to get fucked, and it's going to be like the Oklahoma City Thunder, where they decided to pay Ibaka, and then their big three just went to shit. So it's like if he doesn't make the right decisions, it's just not going to work. And then CP3, he's got a lot of things to deal with, but I still have faith in James Jones because I think he knows what it takes to get, win championships. And I think that we've all said that he didn't believe in Ayton, and he didn't pay Ayton ultimately because it's not his guy, and he doesn't think Ayton's going to get us to the promised land. And for that, I tend to agree. So maybe they made the right decision last year to not max him.
They definitely made the right decision. But okay, having said that, if we maxed him last year and then this whole season played out the way it did, he has really high... For him, I think his trade value is pretty good, right? Don't you think that people are kind of salivating over him a little bit more than we expected?
I think I think the only teams that want Ayton have to be those fringe teams that have salary, that have traditionally struggled, and they feel like Ayton's not getting utilized in the system, and he might be a game changer for them. One of the teams that really just comes to mind is the Hornets, dog.
That was the first one that we thought would happen.
And if they were dumb enough to give us Bridges, dude, sign the deal, dude. Give us some picks, like that rumored trade of that. Like, can you imagine Miles Bridges bamming on motherfuckers on the Suns? Okay,
Bridges and Bridges.
Plus, they give you some picks. So, I mean, I think that's the kind of team that you look out for, like the Blazers of the world.
I think you've got me sold. You've got me sold on Bridges. Damn it. All I want is Bridges.
Dude, Michael Jordan loves making stupid fucking decisions, right?
Yes, he does. We find him on a night where he's drunk, maybe a little coked out. He's just gambled away some money. He's trying to win something back. Oh, yeah.
Hey, MJ, dude, you love it. Ayton can be he'll take you to the promised land. Just slide us over.
Hey, MJ, I bet you won't trade us Bridges for Ayton.
Bet him.
I don't care what you got to do, but that's the guy.
Hey, MJ, let's play one shot for a decision for Ayton. Rig the rims.
He plays the 4, right? Like, if he's a 4, I'm in. I'm pretty sure he's a 4.
Yeah, Miles Bridges would be fucking like. And then, imagine inserting Miles Bridges for the future for Crowder.
Imagine inserting Miles Bridges. Pause. Go on.
So that lineup's, you know how more versatile your starting lineup is with that, just that alone, and then having some kind of a prototype center that we were talking about that's able to guard the 3 and get rebounds and this,
Yeah.
Shit. I think that you just need to be patient as the Suns. They're definitely smart in not being reactionary, because they could have been, because the shit hit the fan in Game 7. I still can't get over how bad that was.
Did we get beat? I don't even know how much we got beat by. Like, I've tried to wipe it from my brain.
It was the most embarrassing loss.
What, we lose by like 70?
That I've ever witnessed 60? As an Arizona sports fan, and I've been a fan for years, and that was the most I don't know.
Okay,
embarrassing. So
tell me if this is true. It was so bad that you're numb to it.
Facts.
Like, it was so bad that you feel like well, I'm past anger. Like, this is what being past the point of angry is. Just acceptance. It's sad.
It just really feels like a simulation. Like I watched something in a simulation of a basketball game, and it didn't actually happen in real life, because I can't believe that was a game 7. Like that shit is wild, dude. Like how lopsided that game was and how south it went for one team. They have memes out there of CP3 cutting the lead down to like 43 with the clutch 3. Did you see that shit?
Yep.
CP3 cuts the lead down to 43 with the clutch 3, and it's like, holy fuck. But
where's my
shout
bleach?
out to Romp in the chat. He says CP3, Booker, Bridges, and Mo Bamba. I was already saying I wanted Mo Bamba here because he's going to be available. So
I'm fine with that.
I think Mo Bamba would be cool.
I'll be totally fine with that. He also was talking about bringing back Kaminsky. I would be totally fine with bringing back Kaminsky. Let me ask you something. The Suns have to make some qualifying offers. So I'm going to name a player, and you tell me if you would extend a qualifying offer. And it's not much.
Before you do that, we're talking about fitting the style of what's winning right now. Frank Kaminsky does not fit that. So I don't know why you would bring him back other than to have him as a good luck charm
for the meme.
Cheerleader. Because he's 7 feet tall. He can't guard the perimeter. You know?
Yeah, that's fair. But I love him.
No, go ahead.
Would you extend a qualifying offer, a cheap little amount of money, it's not much, and bring back, if they agree, Ife Lundberg?
I didn't see shit on this man, so he didn't play a lick. I mean, he did play, but not to the
last game he played, he had 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists.
Shit, if you can get him on a good, clean, low deal,
low deal. Okay.
Sure.
So you could go either way, but you're not turned off to him. Ish Wainwright. Would you like to offer a qualifying offer, a low amount of money, to Ish Wainwright?
Sure.
More than
it has to be
right?
low.
It's low.
Yeah,
it ain't a lot.
It's like PJ Tucker was in Europe, and then he came back with the Phoenix Suns and established his place in the league. Like I said, if Ish can hit that corner 3 consistently, he has a 10-year
I want to
career.
see if he can do it.
Because he's physical as fuck. He fits the small ball lineup. He can guard multiple positions. He just needs to hit that 3 like PJ and ratchet up his defense.
So you're down.
Yes.
Aaron Holiday, would you like to offer him a little bit of money to stick around next year?
Aaron Holiday. Solely on the
Remember,
fact that
Sundo will see this.
Solely on the fact that our coach didn't play him when he could have in the worst times, in the worst of times, that doesn't bode well for Holiday. You know?
Yes.
So I don't know the reasoning behind our coach not playing him.
But let's say you're the decision maker and you have some sway.
I just think he's an undersized dude, you know? And I'm not really a fan of that.
Okay, so no on Aaron Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy is Ayton. And of course, we're going to offer him the qualifying offer, and he is going to say, no.
Yeah, if I was a betting man, I would put everything, my house, car, everything on the fact that Ayton won't be here in a calendar year, you know? So if it's the sign and trade that happens this offseason, or if it's the eventual trade deadline situation, I don't think he has more than half a year, you know, depending on when the trade deadline is.
Dude, this is so different going through this as an adult. Because when we were young bucks, 18 to 20, well, I guess it was like 20 to 24 year range, we were dealing with this with Amari Stoudemire. and that was
The
about
Amari situation was different,
cheap
though.
ownership. That was yeah.
Amari had microfracture surgery. He was towards the end of his career ish. He was an older player. He was an established all-star and a game changer for you. The Amari situation, I feel like that's different, dude.
It's totally different, but it feels different. It just feels different as an adult because I was so emotionally connected to Amari. I did not care about the microfracture. I'm
So you
like,
would've just
give
been like,
him.
No
Yes.
matter what, I don't care what the doctors
Well,
say.
he said I want $100 million, and Rashard Lewis had just gotten over $100 million. And I'm saying if Rashard Lewis, who just stands out there and shoots threes next to Dwight Howard, if he's worth $100 million, I know Amari is.
And that's what they were saying about, well, if MPJ's worth a max, then I know Amari is. I mean, I know Ayton is.
Right.
It's just like, you got to take yourself out of the whole, we drafted him number one, so we need to double down on that and be like, okay, no matter what, we're keeping this dude because we can't admit that we fucked up on the pick. You can't make decisions like that. So
You have to remember that. Yeah, go ahead.
I just think from a future standpoint, it gives you flexibility to be good for a long time. Like this, the Spurs were good for a long time, and you have some of these pockets of not dynasties, but teams that are just good for a long time instead of making bad decisions and falling back into the lottery. Do you want to go back into that hellscape?
No,
Gabe?
never.
You want to make the wrong financial decisions and eventually just fuck your
I'm
team
fine
up,
with it if we win a title before that. Just get me one to hang my hat on.
My decision, I think the Suns will get a pretty good offer in the sign and trade deal, and they'll go that route. I don't think they're going to sign him and match and then wait till the trade done. I think something will come up from a desperate team. Like I said, they'll blow the Suns away with an offer when it comes to signing trades, and I think they'll make the move that way. I don't know. I would be cool with them waiting as well if they match and stuff, but that's my thoughts.
I was just going to say, when you were talking about taking yourself out of caring that we drafted him first and this and that, like, there's a Jerry Seinfeld joke. I would butcher it if I tried to do it verbatim, but he basically was just saying, like, we're, as sports fans, you're really more of a fan of the team's laundry. Like, it's the clothes that you like. You like the clothes. Like, you love watching those clothes run up and down the court and dunk. You love watching those clothes shoot threes. It's to be successful, it can't be about the players. It has to be about the clothes. We have to pick what's right for the Phoenix Suns jersey. And I'm pissed that it doesn't feel like it's Ayton, because I wanted it to be him so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. We got some time. Well, I don't know when this is going to all go down, but I think that the Suns got a punch in their jaw. I think they have a good core, and if our GM makes the right decisions with our coach making adjustments, I think that they can bounce back, because I could use the Heat as an example. The Heat made the bubble finals, came back, got bounced in the first round. I'm sure they considered that a failure of a year, and they came back and they almost got to the finals again. Okay. So, and Giannis with the Bucks, they had tons of failures before they actually won the championship. And you can list off Jordan's Bulls, the people they had to beat. Any of these teams had to have things they had to overcome. So just because we thought we needed to win a championship 2 years ago or this year, we failed to do it, I think they can make adjustments and get back to where they need to be if they make the right adjustments. But that's up to the GM. So I think this offseason is going to make or break GM for James Jones, period. He's going to make his bread, as they say. So we'll see. I'm excited for it, though.
You remember those old windows? Maybe your house still has these kind of windows where like sometimes if they're like if it's an old house, the window will just kind of like halfway slide down. Well, maybe not shut itself, but it just doesn't have the resistance. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's our window. I feel like out of nowhere we were sitting there in the room and all of a sudden the window's just like rip. Like, oh shit. It didn't slam shut. It's still cracked open, but you're right.
The thing is there's a lot of players that never made the finals in their whole fucking career. Okay? Steve Nash was one of those players. Damian Lillard has not made a conference finals, dude. Right? Did he make the Western Conference Finals? He might have made that, but he hasn't made
finals.
The NBA finals. Yeah. So it's difficult to do that and to even get on that stage. I'm not trying to say we're trying to get moral victories here and say, oh shit, at least we got the finals. You know how long I had to wait for the Suns to go to the finals from 93 to 2001? That's a fuck long time
21
to even get that opportunity, man. Yeah.
Thought you said 2001.
No, 2021. So it was multiple decades, right?
Damn.
So you just got to appreciate the ride. I mean, enjoy, because I enjoyed the season. I mean, I'm sure you did too.
I did. The season was a really fun season. Like I was saying, it was nice to wear my son's gear around town and be looked at like I wasn't some, third world refugee.
Yeah,
the way I used to get looked at. People would look at me like I had scurvy. Like, what? Why are you wearing that? You're a Suns fan in Texas? Why? And
that's why I don't want to point out the person in the chat that said Booker doesn't deserve the Supermax. He does. He's a bona fide superstar. He's establishing himself. He failed. We get it. But remember, his run to the finals was crazy. And all the things he's accomplishing, first team, all NBA, upping his defense, taking a team that was just trash for years and dealing with that. I love Booker, man. And I don't like the way he went out like a bitch with cocky, doing the Lucas special and doing the look and then not doing things. But I think that will light a fire under Booker to motivate him to get better. Do you think Booker is cool with just going out the way he did and getting mocked online and saying, I don't think he is going to let that stand, and hopefully he grows from it.
I'm still completely down with Booker. I'm still completely in on
Facts.
Booker. I feel like what happened to Booker is he came back early-ish from that hamstring injury. He looked like Jesus playing basketball, going for 31. He looked like he was going to just completely take
35
over.
In the first half or whatever it was.
And the games before, he was looking great too. It wasn't just one game. He was doing this consistently. He was building up. He comes back, did not have the same explosiveness, probably didn't want to risk hurting it, and he wasn't the same. But I think with time to heal and repair his body, he'll be just fine. He can go back to being on his trajectory, and hopefully, like you said, it's true that he's like has more of a burning desire now. That would be great.
Every year of his career he's gotten better.
My issue is Chris Paul.
All right, so let me just explain why Booker broke down. Okay? And a lot of the Suns' plans were failed. It was flawed. Okay, so first of all, they were chasing regular season awards, the most wins and stuff. They wanted that, which is bullshit. And they're playing players when they shouldn't have, playing Booker and Paul all these crazy minutes. And guess what happened? You extend your postseason to the NBA Finals, and guess what Booker did? Like a couple days later, he gets on a flight and goes plays basketball for the Olympics. This dude gave himself no time off, and then he ended up getting injured. It's because eventually, if you don't have the breaks that you're supposed to have, your body's going to fucking break down.
Dog.
Same thing with Chris Paul, dude.
Didn't Middleton go too?
Yeah, and he got hurt too. Telling you, man, like the decision for Booker to do that at the time I tweeted out, I said, I don't give a fuck about this gold medal. I get it, the country, it's big, whatever. I just felt like it was gonna extend Booker playing, and he had no off season to rest. And plus, it was like, weren't they catching up off of the bubble season and trying to get back into normal? It's just
And going into another sped up preseason timeline.
so the Suns, I think, will hopefully learn a lesson. I don't know how much Monty
About
can
pacing
learn.
themselves. A lesson
Pacing
about
themselves,
pacing.
not chasing the number one seed.
Dude, in Chris Paul's interview on Reddick's podcast, he was like, he talked about why they went so hard, and he was like, we want to celebrate everything. One of the things we had never done before, one of the things we hadn't accomplished was getting our coaches the opportunity to coach in the All-Star game, because the team with home, like with the first seed going into
Gets the coach.
get their coaches coach the All-Star game. He's like, we wanted them to coach. So that's why we were going so hard before that. We want to celebrate everything. He's like, I don't have many. He goes, I'm going to, definitely I'm going hard as hell this season and next season, and then we'll see from there. But along the way, I want to enjoy everything along the way. He's like, well,
And you can't. I mean, can you blame him? I mean, that's
no.
He's a human. He's an individual. He plays a sport. It's like he needs to enjoy these moments because they are going to be gone. And it's like people get too fucking. I get it. It's important to Suns fans, but this guy is a human being. It's true what he said. He wants to enjoy the path, but the Suns, like I said, had a weird trajectory of going from complete dog shit to being a championship contender. It's like giving a poor person millions of dollars once they've been poor their whole life. What's the chances that they spend their money the right way?
Right.
Since they haven't had money to that level, they probably make some dumbass decisions. So it's like the Suns pole vaulted to the fucking finals, and we're up 2-0. And it's like that's where the cockiness came from. They're like, well, shit, we're gonna be a fucking dynasty, dude. We're young. We just made it to the final, And it's like the next year, they had all this thought process. They're running a fucking parade to celebrate the Western Conference Finals. And who's the coach for the Celtics? Udoka or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He said we don't celebrate conference championships. And I said, I wish the Suns had that mentality, because I remember clear as day, the Bucks locker room looked like a fucking funeral procession. Nobody was clapping. Nobody was happy. They looked, I was like,
They looked like they lost.
I was like, dude, you guys just won the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, no celebrations were happening. And then on the other side with the Suns, they're fucking running parades in peak COVID, popping, fucking beer bottles and throwing them out and looking like they just won the finals. And they ran into a team that knew that wasn't. It's just all that stuff, Gabe. I just think they can learn if they want to. They're a young team like Booker and Bridges. CP3 is who he is, but our core, Cam Johnson, improve their games and learn from the mistakes. And I think that they can come back better next season if they make the right changes. I think it could be the Heat situation. I'm always going to go to that. He got bounced first round, come back, make adjustments, make the conference finals. Then they arguably could have made the NBA finals.
Right.
So
maybe Cam Johnson takes another step forward. Maybe Mikhail takes another step forward. Maybe they're not done.
I hope not, because I think Bridges disappeared in the playoffs, and I think he needs to be more consistent. And then Cam Johnson, just ever since he got injured, was not the same. Like he did that game winner, which was insane. It was probably the best moment of the season. And he was just looking like he's taking the next step. And then the injury after that, it's just, he never returned to that level. So hopefully an off season, work on some new things to his game and take it to the next level. And if that happens, then he could replace Crowder in the starting lineup potentially. You know, maybe not. Maybe Bridges is going to take his spot. Miles Bridges, you know.
Ooh, that's what you need to be speaking into existence. Although the KD stuff would be great too. I would do anything to get KD on this team because
Man, I mean, Siakam would be fucking phenomenal too. I know that a lot of the Raptors fans say that would never happen, but like if you pull off a Siakam trade and got Siakam on this team, shit, he would.
I'd rather have KD.
Love. Yeah, well, sure. I mean, KD's one of the best players of all fucking time, dude.
So you're just saying, more realistically, you'd be super happy at least with something like that. That's a little bit more realistic.
I mean, KD, Siakam, Miles Bridges. I think all those are W's. Some of these other trade proposals, I don't know. So we'll see. It's gonna be a interesting offseason. Lots of content, you know.
I'm so excited for this season to end. Right?
What's your pick for the finals? Does it matter?
To be honest, I don't know who's going to win. I've been watching them both play. They're both so good. I literally don't know who's going to win. I don't know. I'm
going to pick the thing that it's right in front of people's eyes and they just don't get it. I get the Celtics, and you guys will probably clip this and play it back when I'm wrong, but defense wins championships, and I think the Celtics know that. They're the number one defense, I believe, and they have some dogs out there, man. And Al Horford, some size for them. I think they match up really well with the Warriors. It's like what counteracts a good offense? It's defense, but both of the teams are very good at defense. You know,
right?
It's gonna be. I think I'm actually excited to watch this finals.
Yeah,
because
I hate to admit it, but yeah.
I don't hate the Warriors. Like I said, I hated the Warriors when they were the super team that Katie went from OKC to go make it easy to go win some more champions. I respect the Warriors for building their fucking team from the ground up. They drafted Steph. They drafted Clay. They were not number one picks. They're later on. Draymond was a fucking second round pick. They got Poole. They've shown consistently how to build the team from the ground up. It's not this super team mentality, which I hope is fucking dying, which I think it is. And the Celtics, again, are an example of that. Drafted Tatum, drafted Brown, made adjustments. Their fucking coach switched to be the GM, and they got a new coach in there. And it wasn't like it was instant success with them. And I know their history, but I just don't. I like Tatum. I like their team. I don't have anybody on that team I fucking hate. So I really don't care who wins, honestly. Like, I know a lot of Suns fans are like, fuck the Warriors. I love to see the Celtics win, but honestly, am I going to really give a fuck if either wins? Not really. Like, I don't really care, to be honest. But I'm excited for the series.
I think I'm right there with you. I don't care, but
we can cry over Tatum fucking saying that he wanted to be on the
vaulting
Suns,
over
dog.
Book. Yeah.
He wanted to be on the Suns, dog. Imagine Booker and Tatum, my God.
And Josh Jackson had to fuck it up for everyone. And by everyone, I mean
Josh Jackson's like, fuck your interview, Celtics. I'm with the Suns. I'm not even going to talk to you. And we could list all those off. Ja Morant should have been the Sun. Tatum should have been the Sun. Fucking Deandre, who?
Zion.
Halliburton.
Would you trade Ayton for Zion?
Nah, Zion's like a fucking... I don't know. Zion has that... He has a weird stank on him, dude. Like, he...
So you're worried about the body not holding up?
No, he carries way too much weight, and his feet are having problems already. And when a big man has feet problems, and it's predicated on explosive moves, that does not work out. Yao Ming, I think, ended his career because of feet problems. And
yeah,
if you have a big man that have, especially in a high contact sport like the NBA, where you need to be explosive like Zion, shit. already said that they should move Zion and get fucking return for him. I mean, they're good right now. New Orleans is good right now. They almost fucking beat the Suns.
Right.
But yeah, I like Zion because he's entertaining to watch, but as far as young players like that, Ja Morant takes the fucking cake for me. He's one of my favorites to watch.
Why is everyone pronouncing it Pascal Siakam? Or why are you guys putting it all as one word? Like, everyone typing it is doing it as one word. It's freaking me out, you freaky boys.
Yeah, I know CJ Goats in the chat and lots of other, some Blazers Uprise guys. Do not mention Pascal Siakam, or fucking Blazers fans traditionally will lose their shit, because I know that he was the number one target for them for a long time. So if the Suns were able to pull off a sign and trade for fucking
that would be
Siakam,
nice.
it would be but it's all about having assets. For the longest time when the Suns were doing that, what was the timeline, or is that what they called it?
Ours was the timeline.
The process for the
Sixers.
The Sixers. So we called it the timeline.
Because we were bandwagoning. We didn't have anything original.
What a fucking joke, dude. I know this is way off topic, but
it kind of worked, though. The timeline kind of worked.
All right. But for how long? Because you're just because Oklahoma City's taking it to Mach fucking 10. I don't know what they're calling their process, but they have 60 first round picks in the next whatever. And it's with the timeline, you're like, okay, man, these shitty seasons where we don't have a bat's chance in fucking hell to win any games and nobody gives a fuck about your team. And you have guys like scrubs like DJ Strawberry or where the fuck is, you know what I'm saying? And not being competitive. Don't worry, guys. We're sucking and we're going to get those draft picks and then we're going to turn it around. But then you just keep busting on draft picks. You have a draft where you have
Marquise
Chris in the top 10.
Dragon Bender. Archie Goodwin.
In the top 10, Gabe. Two picks in the top 10 and you somehow bust on both of them, dog. It's just
pause.
Crazy.
But yeah.
But it ended up, I mean, Booker worked out for McDonough, fuckface. And Ayton, I mean, if you want to make the argument, I think if we would have drafted Doncic, it would have fucked over Booker and he would have wanted out, dude. I don't think that those two could coexist together. But that's a different discussion for a different date, I guess, because Doncic is so fucking ball dominant as a player. I don't think Booker would have liked it. I think it would have hurt his development. I think eventually he would have been like, all right, I'm out. So Romp said, why did Sam Hinkie, process originator, get forced out of the NBA for tanking, but Sam Presti is God? NBA hates the Sixers for sure. I mean, Sam took all the hits trying to, suck for picks, and he got Embiid and all this other stuff. But yeah, he got fired, and Presti's been not doing a good job.
All right, man. What else you thinking? Anything on this topic? Got anything else?
Well, what's the dates? I mean, when's the NBA draft? What do you look? I know you have thoughts in your head for content. What can the people look forward to?
Well, I think we just need to keep covering things as they come up. Like, it doesn't have to be as long form as this. Like, we could do a 30-minute show. I mean, if something happens,
there's also the possibility of just cutting segments out of these live streams and make them into videos.
Sure.
I know channels that do that. And
for sure.
Shout out to everybody that showed up, because literally you guys had no warning. You know what I'm saying? I hit up Gabe and I was like, hey, we should do a live stream. And there wasn't much warning for you guys, but you showed out. I mean, it's tough for, sports channels like this, because there is the off-season lull and you got some other stuff, and you get, traditionally this is a live reaction channel. So the fact that you guys want to hang out and listen to us podcast style is cool. I like that. I think that's cool, but we need feedback on what you guys want to see,
Yeah,
What do you guys want
definitely.
to see more
If you
of?
guys have any videos you want us to make that aren't involving Sundo's feet or shirtlessness, because we can't get him to do that, you know? He's really stingy with it. But if you guys have any regular video ideas for any of us, man, like if you want to see Salty do a rant about why we should keep Jay Crowder, you know, let us know. But let's see. I'm gonna try to get some videos out. I'm gonna try to make a video soon. Do you have any ideas what I should make for a video, or do you want to make one? Just cut something from this. I was definitely thinking about cutting something from this.
I think cutting some clips and making new thumbnails and shit would be cool to get, you know, people that, because not everybody wants to watch how long this podcast has been. So if you get pieces out, they could watch short content. I think that's cool. I know you're doing stuff with Blazers Uprise with mock off season stuff. I don't know if the viewers would want to see that kind of stuff, or
maybe
just whatever. There's a community tab. We could take advantage of that. Put some polls out there for you guys, stuff that you want to see. Join. I mean, do you have the Discord link? People can join and stuff too.
Yeah, let me post the Discord right now, actually. If you guys want to get in the disc.
When is the NBA draft? I really gotta know.
That's the thing. I'm kind of just emotionally waiting for the finals to end before I start to, like, you know.
Yeah, because that's really when it ramps up. I mean, you get the champion crown and they move into the next thing. June 23rd, 2022, man. So that's right around the corner.
Jeez. Yeah, I just have been kind of frozen, man. Frozen in time. Not thinking about anything except for waiting for it to be over so the excitement can start back up. Because I don't have any excitement right now. It's still... I'm alive. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't drink bleach. That's remarkable that all of us, including Iverson, are still alive. That's not nothing.
I mean, a couple of years of huge, major letdowns. So.
Are we going to stream the finals? I don't know. Do you want to stream the finals? It just doesn't feel good. It feels negative. I can't watch that and just... If it was a regular season game, or if it was another playoff game that didn't have the Suns involved, but the Suns were still in the hunt, I could watch those games and enjoy myself. But this is painful basketball to watch, right? Yep. Emotionally.
I mean, from a live reaction standpoint, yeah. I mean, it's hard to have that good content you want to watch when you're sitting around just chilling, you know? I mean, you're not really emotionally invested in any of this shit, because when we did live reactions to other playoff games that were happening simultaneously, or that could affect the next series, or the Suns might play this team or that team, then yeah, you could have a dog in the fight because you want to see certain team win or not. Or
right.
But this one, it's like, okay, the Warriors are going for another championship and the Celtics. It's like, all right. I mean, it's cool. Like I said, I don't really care which team wins, so it'd be hard to like react to that kind of stuff. So
yeah, it's just, I'd rather try to spend our energy on doing content that we would enjoy making, because I feel like it comes through in the, you know what I mean, in the content. Like, I don't want somebody's first impression of us to be us calling a game that we want to kill ourselves while we're watching. Like, it's not a great first impression, you know.
No, I think this was good, you know. So we'll make some clips. Let us know what you guys want to see.
Yeah, man. Can't wait to hang out with you guys next time. Salty, appreciate you, man. You're on Twitter, aren't you?
Yep, saltiest AZ fan.
Also, if you guys are into gaming, I don't know if anybody plays any games.
Like Ayton sacrificing your testosterone.
Yeah. If you guys like gaming, Salty just started a brand new YouTube channel called Saltiest Gaming. He's been doing it for 1 month and he's already up to 24,000 subs. He's not doing bad for being so new. So go check him out. All right, and give him a sub there too.
Sacrificing testosterone.
Yeah. You guys can follow me at Tory Craigstan. Not for much longer. I gotta change this. I gotta change my Twitter. It's not. It just doesn't make any sense anymore. So give me some suggestions on. Maybe I'll go with like maybe I just go with my name. We'll figure it out. Give me some suggestions on a new Twitter handle, not you burner, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, go Suns.
Phaedra, my kid's crying, but you don't know what the you're talking about, man. Johnson, let's go. Dunk on someone. Oh!
Frank. Second free throw for Brooks. It's off! It's off!
Passes the business. Biombo!
Mikhail has it! Oh, come on, baby. 4 seconds.
I didn't even know SS BBW existed.
Oh, shit!
You said both cheeks were gonna be spread.
I beat the shit out of Aaron Carter.
Cam Johnson, deep three!
Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go!
Looking for somebody.
Oh, what the fuck? What just happened? What just happened?